Have you noticed something changing in the way you walk? Maybe it's a slight hesitation before you step off a curb, or the way you reach for the handrail a little sooner than you used to. Perhaps you've caught yourself taking shorter, more cautious steps, especially on uneven ground. You're not imagining it, and you're certainly not alone. After 60, something shifts in the way our bodies maintain balance and stability. It's not weakness, it's not failure. It's a biological process that affects everyone. But here's what most people don't know. It's completely reversible. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and over my years working with thousands of people over 60, I've watched something remarkable happen. With just 4 specific exercises, taking less than 2 minutes total, people who were afraid to walk without assistance began moving with confidence again. People who hadn't climbed stairs in years started taking them 2 at a time. This isn't about complicated gym routines or expensive equipment. It's about 4 precise movements that target the exact muscles and balance systems your body needs to walk safely and confidently. Today, I'm going to show you these 4 exercises. We'll talk about why they work, how to do them properly, and most importantly, how to progress safely no matter where you're starting from. Because here's the truth. Your body still has the capacity to rebuild strength and balance. It's just waiting for the right signals. Let's begin. Before we get to the exercises, I need you to understand what's actually happening in your body after 60. Most people think balance problems are just part of aging, but that's not the full story. Here's what the research shows. After 60, 3 specific systems in your body begin to decline simultaneously. First, your proprioception, that's your body's internal GPS system, becomes less accurate. Proprioception is how your body knows where it is in space. It's the reason you can touch your nose with your eyes closed or walk across a dark room without falling. As this system weakens, your brain doesn't get clear signals about where your feet are, how your weight is distributed, or how to adjust when you encounter uneven surfaces. Second, your hip and ankle stabilizer muscles, those tiny muscles you never think about, begin to atrophy. These aren't the big muscles you see in a mirror. They're the deep stabilizers that make thousands of micro adjustments every time you take a step. When these muscles weaken, your body compensates by taking wider, shuffling steps. You might not even realize you're doing it, but this adaptation actually makes falling more likely, not less. Third, the connection between your brain and these stabilizer muscles, the neural pathways, starts to degrade. Think of it like a phone line with static. The signal is still there, but it's not as clear or as fast. The result? That split-second reaction time you need to catch yourself when you stumble gets slower. Your reflexes dull. And suddenly, situations that were never dangerous before, a slippery floor, an uneven sidewalk, a pet underfoot, become genuine fall risks. Now, here's what changes everything. Scientists at the Mayo Clinic and the National Institute on Aging have discovered that these 3 systems, proprioception, stabilizer strength, and neural connection, can be retrained and rebuilt at any age. Not slowed down, not maintained, rebuilt. But you need the right exercises. Random movements won't work. You need exercises that specifically challenge your balance systems, strengthen the right stabilizers, and rewire those neural pathways. That's exactly what the next 4 exercises do. And when you practice these consistently, even just 2 minutes a day, your body doesn't just stop declining. It starts improving. Your steps become steadier, your confidence returns, and that fear of falling, it begins to fade. Let's start with what researchers call the most predictive movement for longevity after 60. It's called the single leg balance. The Mayo Clinic conducted a study on over 1,700 adults and found something astonishing. Your ability to balance on one leg for just 10 seconds is a stronger predictor of your fall risk and overall health span than almost any other physical test. More predictive than blood pressure, more predictive than cholesterol, more predictive than your resting heart rate. Why? Because this simple movement tests everything at once: your proprioception, your stabilizer strength, your core engagement, and your neural coordination. Here's what happens when you practice single leg balance. Your ankle stabilizes the muscles around your ankle joint that make hundreds of tiny corrections every second wake up and strengthen. Your hip stabilizes, particularly your gluteus medius, which keeps your pelvis level when you walk. Learn to engage automatically. Your core muscles activate to keep you upright, creating a stable foundation for movement. And your brain builds new neural pathways, strengthening that mind-muscle connection that's so critical for fall prevention. How to practice single leg balance. Stand next to a sturdy chair, counter, or wall. This is your safety anchor, and there's absolutely no shame in using it. Safety first, always. Place your feet hip-width apart. Shift your weight onto your right leg. Slowly lift your left foot just a few inches off the ground. Don't worry about how high, even an inch counts. The goal is stability, not height. Here's the key. Keep your standing knee slightly soft, not locked. A locked knee actually makes balancing harder because it removes your body's natural shock absorption. Imagine there's a string pulling you up from the crown of your head. This creates length in your spine and engages your core naturally. Your goal is to hold this position for 10 to 30 seconds. If you can barely hold it for 3 seconds, that's your starting point. No judgment, just awareness. That's where your body is today, and it will improve. Breathe naturally. Many people hold their breath when balancing, which actually makes it harder because it creates tension. Find a focal point on the wall in front of you and keep your eyes fixed on it. This gives your brain a stable visual reference, which helps immensely. After 10 to 30 seconds, gently lower your foot and switch sides. Do this 3 times on each leg. You'll probably notice one side is stronger than the other. That's completely normal and exactly why we practice both sides. Week 1. Hold for 10 seconds with light finger touch on chair. Week 2. Hold for 20 seconds with no support, chair nearby. Week 3. Hold for 30 seconds. Try closing your eyes for the last 5 seconds. Week 4. Hold for 30 seconds, eyes closed entire time. The real-world impact. Within 2 weeks, you'll notice you don't wobble as much when you bend down to tie your shoes. You'll feel more stable when you reach up into a cabinet. That moment when you step on something unexpected, a toy, a wrinkle in a rug, your body will catch itself faster. Balance isn't just a physical skill, it's confidence. And confidence changes everything about how you move through the world. Now, if single leg balance tests your stability in a static position, this next exercise trains something even more crucial: your ability to walk on a narrow base of support. It's called the heel-to-toe walk, also known as tandem walking. You've probably seen neurologists use this test in medical exams. That's because it's one of the most reliable ways to assess balance and coordination. But it's not just a test, it's also one of the most effective exercises for improving your gait and reducing fall risk. Here's what makes this so powerful. As we age, many of us unconsciously start taking wider steps. It's a compensation mechanism. Your body widens your base of support because it doesn't trust its balance anymore. But this adaptation creates a problem. The wider you walk, the weaker your stabilizers become. And the weaker they become, the wider you walk. It's a downward spiral. The heel-to-toe walk reverses this pattern. Research from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who practiced tandem walking for just 2 minutes daily showed a 43% improvement in balance scores after 4 weeks. 43%. In 1 month, how to practice heel-to-toe walk. Find a hallway or clear space where you can walk in a straight line. If you're nervous, do this next to a wall so you can touch it for support. Imagine you're walking on a tightrope or along a narrow beam. Place your right foot directly in front of your left foot so the heel of your right foot touches the toes of your left foot. There should be no gap. Now take another step, placing your left heel against your right toes. Continue this pattern for 10 to 15 steps. Here's what makes this challenging. Your center of gravity is constantly shifting over a very narrow base. This forces your core muscles to stabilize, your ankle muscles to make continuous micro adjustments, and your brain to coordinate all of this in real time. It's like a workout for your entire balance system. Critical tips. Start slowly. This isn't a race. Quality matters far more than speed. Keep your head up and your eyes focused forward, not down at your feet. Looking down actually makes balancing harder because you lose your visual horizon. If you feel unsteady, place your hand on the wall. As you improve, use just one fingertip, then no support at all. Progression. Week 1, 10 steps with wall support. Week 2, 15 steps with no support, slow pace. Week 3, 15 steps at normal walking speed. Week 4, 15 steps with eyes closed for the last 5 steps. The science behind the steps. What's happening in your brain during this exercise is fascinating. Your cerebellum, the part of your brain responsible for coordination and balance, starts building new neural pathways. Think of it like upgrading the wiring between your brain and your body. The more you practice, the faster and more reliable that connection becomes. And the better that connection, the safer you are in real-world situations. Walking with confidence isn't just about strength. It's about coordination, stability, and trust in your body. And these things can be retrained at any age. Now, while the first 2 exercises focus on balance and coordination, this next one builds the raw strength you need to support those skills. Because here's the truth. You can have perfect balance, but if your leg muscles are weak, you won't be able to catch yourself when you stumble. The exercise is called the half squat, and it's the single most functional strength exercise for people over 60. Let me ask you something. Can you get up from a chair without using your hands? Can you climb a flight of stairs without gripping the railing? Can you get out of a car without that awkward struggle? If you hesitated on any of those questions, your leg strength needs attention. Here's why this matters so much. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that leg strength declines by 3% per year after age 60 if you do nothing to maintain it. 3% per year. By the time you're 80, you could have 60% less leg strength than you had at 60. That's the difference between independence and needing assistance for basic activities. But the half squat addresses all the major muscle groups you need for daily life. Your quadriceps, which straighten your knee and control your descent when you sit down. Your glutes, which power you up stairs, out of chairs, and off the ground if you ever need to get up from a fall. Your hamstrings, which stabilize your knees and hips during movement. And your core, which keeps your spine safe and your movements controlled. How to practice half squats. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly outward about 10 to 15 degrees. Place your hands on a sturdy chair or counter in front of you for support. This isn't cheating. This is smart training. Imagine you're about to sit down in a chair that's just behind you. Push your hips back slightly. This is critical for proper form. Bend your knees and lower yourself down about 6 to 8 inches. You don't need to go deep. This is a half squat, not a full squat. Your knees should stay behind your toes, or at most, directly over your toes, and your weight should be in your heels, not your toes. Pause for just a moment at the bottom, then push through your heels to stand back up. Squeeze your glutes at the top. That's 1 repetition. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions, rest for 30 seconds, then do 2 more sets. Critical form tips. Keep your chest up and your core engaged throughout the movement. If you round your back, you're putting unnecessary stress on your spine. Think about sitting back into a chair, not just bending your knees forward. This engages your glutes and protects your knees. Breathe out as you push up. This is when you're exerting force. And exhaling helps activate your core muscles. Never hold your breath during strength exercises. It can spike your blood pressure unnecessarily. Progression. Week 1, 5 reps, holding chair for support. Week 2, 8 reps, light touch on chair. Week 3, 8 reps, no support chair nearby for safety. Week 4, 10 reps, slow tempo, 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up. The functional benefits. Within 2 weeks of consistent practice, everyday activities become noticeably easier. Getting out of your car won't feel like a major effort. Climbing stairs won't leave you winded. That moment when you drop something and need to pick it up, you'll squat down with confidence instead of that awkward, fearful bend. Strength isn't just about muscles. It's about independence, dignity, and the freedom to live life on your own terms. There's one more piece of the puzzle. An exercise so simple you can do it sitting down, yet it targets a muscle group that's crucial for walking stability and often completely overlooked. It's called the seated leg raise, and it strengthens your hip flexors. Here's something most people don't realize. Your hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips that lift your leg when you walk, weaken significantly with age, especially if you sit a lot. Weak hip flexors lead to a shuffling gait, reduced step length, and increased tripping risk because you can't lift your feet high enough to clear obstacles. You know that moment when you catch your toe on a rug or a crack in the sidewalk? That's weak hip flexors failing to lift your foot adequately. The seated leg raise directly strengthens these muscles while also engaging your core and improving the mind-muscle connection in your lower body. And the best part? You can do this while watching television, reading, or even during commercial breaks. How to practice seated leg raises. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back straight and feet flat on the floor. Avoid chairs with wheels or that rock. Place your hands on the sides of the chair for support. Engage your core by pulling your belly button slightly toward your spine. This protects your lower back. Keeping your right knee straight, lift your right leg until it's parallel to the floor or as high as comfortable. Your thigh should lift off the chair. Hold this position for 2 to 3 seconds, really focusing on squeezing the muscles at the front of your hip and thigh. Slowly lower your leg back down with control. Don't just drop it. The lowering phase is just as important as the lifting phase for building strength. That's 1 repetition. Do 8 to 12 repetitions on your right leg, then switch to your left leg. Progression options. Week 1, 8 reps per leg, 2-second hold. Week 2, 10 reps per leg, 3-second hold. Week 3, 12 reps per leg. Point your toes toward your shin for extra resistance. Week 4, 12 reps per leg, 5-second hold at the top. Advanced variation. If this feels easy, try lifting both legs at the same time. This dramatically increases core engagement and difficulty, but only attempt this if single leg raises feel comfortable. Why this matters. Strong hip flexors don't just help you walk better. They improve your posture, reduce lower back pain, and make activities like climbing stairs or stepping over objects much safer. They're the unsung heroes of mobility. Every muscle in your body has a purpose. When you strengthen the ones you've neglected, you don't just prevent falls, you reclaim freedom. So there you have it, 4 exercises that take less than 2 minutes combined, yet address every major component of safe, confident walking. Let me summarize the complete routine. Exercise 1, single leg balance. 3 sets per leg, 10 to 30 seconds each. Trains stability and proprioception. Exercise 2, heel to toe walk. 10 to 15 steps, 1 to 2 sets. Improves gait and neural coordination. Exercise 3, half squats. 5 to 10 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets. Builds functional leg strength. Exercise 4, seated leg raises. 8 to 12 repetitions per leg, 1 to 2 sets. Strengthens hip flexors and prevents shuffling. total time, 2 minutes. You can do all 4 in a row or spread them throughout the day. The key is consistency, not perfection. The research is clear. Consistency beats intensity every single time, especially after 60. You don't need marathon workout sessions, you need daily practice. Even if it's just 2 minutes. That consistency creates lasting change. Here's what I want you to do. Try these 4 exercises once a day for the next 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. Mark it on your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone, whatever it takes. And then notice what changes. Notice how your steps feel. Notice your confidence when you walk. Notice how you move through your day. I genuinely want to know what you experience. Because these aren't just exercises. They're the foundation of continued independence, confidence, and the ability to live life fully at any age. Which of these 4 exercises are you going to try first? Drop a comment and let me know. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this valuable, share it with someone you care about who's over 60. These simple movements could genuinely change someone's life. Remember, longevity isn't just about living longer. It's about living with freedom, confidence, and independence. And that's exactly what these exercises give you. Before you go, I have a challenge for you. Earlier in this video, we talked about single leg balance. Do you remember how many seconds you should aim to hold that position? If you remember, drop the number in the comments. If you don't, that's okay, just type replay and I'll know you're planning to watch this again. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll talk about the 3 bedtime vitamins that rebuild leg strength overnight, something most people over 60 have never heard about. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Now get up, choose one exercise, and take action. Your future self will thank you.